Assalamu alaikum, Nazreen. This is your host, Azhar Ahmed Batla. It's our honor and privilege to welcome Mr. Yu Hang to our program. Mr. Yu Hang is JMD, Pakistan Stock Exchange. We would like to welcome him in Pakistan in general and at Pakistan Stock Exchange in particular. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Wa alaikum assalam and assalamu alaikum viewers.
So we welcome you in Pakistan, and it's a privilege because it's your first ever media appearance in Pakistan. So it's a privilege for Business Plus TV to welcome you as a first appearance on our program.
Thank you very much.
And we hope it becomes a regular feature also.
Hope so.
We have seen in past and recent history that China has been our strategic partner and a very close friend and ally. But recently the economic interest that has come in, and which is very evident now in the form of CPEC and your strategic interest in Pakistan exchange. So can you give us a little background how this is happening, and how do you view Pakistan as a trading hub, economic hub, and next coming few decades?
China and Pakistan has long standing relation for the past decades, and we help each other, a lot. And this CPEC initiative, I think, will help Pakistan and also its neighbors, to boost its economy by increasing a lot of job opportunities.
Right.
And at the same time, for China, we can save a lot of costs in terms of shipping oil from traveling all around to Maluka.
Right.
And we can go to the Gwadar, then we can ship it inland through this corridor to Kashgar. And it will save us a lot, and it will also benefit the Pakistan economy as well.
So it's a mutually beneficial relationship.
Yes,
and
indeed.
I think any economic relationship is based on first, as we talk
Absolutely.
about friendship, trust, and then economic interest.
Yep.
You said about the region. Do you think all the regional players are very acceptable to this? Because we have seen that with China's cooperation with the Pakistan coming up, and we have seen a lot of noise. So do you think, because it's a very good thing if more people join and it's a better strategic partnership, but do you think the regional player also accepting it and moving forward with it?
I think so. This One Belt, One Road strategy is a global strategy for China. And of course, Pakistan is a very crucial part of it. And also the other countries along in the region also part of it as well.
Right.
And besides the PSX project, and I know that the Shanghai Stock Exchange, and they are trying to help some other countries, to establish their own stock exchange as well.
Right.
So it is not necessarily focusing on Pakistan. It's also, I would say, the global strategy.
Which is a very good thing,
Yeah.
because then holding. You just mentioned Pakistan Stock Exchange, and we've seen that 40% has been acquired. And as you said, it's not only limited to infrastructure. So do we see more of Chinese partnerships or organization coming into financial sector in a big way in near future?
Well, we are working on that, and the most important thing here is to increase the market awareness of Pakistan to overseas investors. Because in China, very few people at this moment know about the Pakistan market, and they never realize that the PSX, which has the stocks of PSX performed very well in the past decade.
Few years.
And
market.
I think the KSE 100, the annual return of the past few years, I think is around 20%, which is really high, for lots of Chinese investors. So each time when I go back to China, I bring this story, to them. They're quite interested in it. And just for your record, we have introduced quite a few, brokers here and bring them to China to explore the business cooperations with the Chinese investors.
Right.
And I think it goes well, and we will do the same and more frequently.
Right.
And so that we can introduce more, overseas investors, especially from China, and to Pakistan if the times come.
So this will be like both ways. You're saying, hoping to see people going there, and there are people coming in,
Exactly.
looking at the Pakistan Stock Exchange, and at the opportunity opportunities, the tremendous opportunities that are available.
Yes, and I have already introduced, quite a few, Chinese experts to do the feasibility analysis to launch maybe the the Pakistan, ETF, to China, and one of them is coming next week, and so, and I hope it went well, and I hope this day comes soon, so that the Chinese investors will know the Pakistan market soon.
When Pakistan opened the markets in 1990, we saw a lot of foreigners coming in, and local market benefited a lot from foreigners because of their experience, their knowledge about the market, research. What we see today, the research has been built on the fundamentals, that came through the foreign investor. So with your strategic stake in PSX 40% and upcoming another 20% stake coming from the for the general public, do you hope to increase your stake further at this point in time, or that will be a later on your horizon?
Well, at this moment, according to the regulation, as a foreign strategic partner, we cannot, increase our...
So you'll have to be at 40%?
Yeah, we have to...
Like you cannot go down and you cannot increase.
Exactly.
So, but later on, if the regulation permit, you might...
we will take into consideration.
Great. As you said, you're bringing in more people. Any market smaller does benefit from the bigger market. And I'm sure the volumes in one stock of big at Shanghai Stock Exchange must be matching, few sectors here. So do you think when you will bring in all these products or introduce new measures, do you see people benefiting overall and generally at PSX?
I think people will benefit overall, and of course at the same time PSX benefit as well. We are trying to establish a more robust capital market, which has stronger financing power. So that not only local companies but also overseas investors, when they come to invest in the CPEC related project, they can finance through the PSX market, and at the same time they can benefit.
In my programs or Business Plus TV, we've been highlighting one point that Pakistan investor base has been very narrow. Somehow in 70 years we've not been able to come up with numbers which are very attractive. When you were coming, did you see as a big opportunity? Because this number can go up to 10 times.
People are always saying this, but it is possible, but it relies on a very hard work from PSX and from the broker community.
Every stakeholder, every stakeholder,
exactly. Exactly. Because although Pakistan has more than 200 million population, and I realized from my short experience, it seems like the capital market, this kind of concept is not well known. So
very limited people know about it.
So we might need to put more efforts on...
Maybe they need to come to more media.
Exactly. To do the marketing, to do the roadshow, let more people to increase their
investor
awareness.
Knowledge. Tell them how it's been beneficial, because most of the people, as you said, don't know in Shanghai. Most of the people don't know here also, they could get a good return from, because the interest rates are low and people are still looking for venues, but somehow stock exchange is not one of the priorities. And I think with your management in place and your experience, this should be happening very soon.
Thank you very much, and I hope so.
Yeah, we really look forward to that. The other thing would be on a lighter side, you have come to a new country. So any place you go, it's a new culture, new language. So how do you, first of all, how do you find people of Pakistan? And I will ask about the people in general about PSX, but obviously it's like a general, because a lot of Chinese have been here, and again.
Yeah, I realize more and more Chinese are coming here, and I was told by my friend that every day the Karachi, received more than
few hundred people.
Yeah, a few hundred. Chinese.
That was told to me on a recent visit at the airport, that how many people, and I was like pleasantly surprised.
And I would say, almost all of them are quite friendly, to me and to my colleagues from China as well. And I even met, few people when I was waiting, for my car, and they come and want to take picture with me.
Wow, they knew you were a celebrity before. The other thing is, if you see, and I think we've been eating in the urban area, the Chinese food has been very popular. Obviously, I see it's been little localized. So how do you find that food? Like Pakistani food is a different thing, but your own Chinese Chinese food?
Well, I travel a lot, I mean, around the world, so food is not an issue for me. I mean, and I like the spicy food, and the Pakistani food is rather spicy, and which is good for me.
Oh, that's very good. But do you think the Chinese food is available, is authentic, or is a little localized where we eat here?
Well, I don't want to do the advertisement, but I mean, I stayed in Merritt for a couple of months, and the Chinese restaurant there, they serve pretty, I mean, good food, Chinese food, and also there was a couple of, I mean, decent Chinese restaurants, I mean, here in Karachi as well.
So, and I think we offer more variety than, you know, you can imagine. We have like local foods, we can, you know.
And besides the local food, the Chinese food, and I can have some good, I mean, Western food here in Karachi as well. So it's a metropolitan, so you can basically get whatever you want. So, and this kind of image, I mean, need to be sent out to the outside Pakistan, let more and more, I mean, foreign investors to come to Pakistan.
I think that, and what we saw last, the figures that has come up because of the law and order has improved tremendously. And we have seen the local tourism going up, which is a very positive thing on its own. Obviously, when first the investor comes and sees the place and then invest, you know. We have seen the language is usually a barrier. So how do you see your management integrating with local people integrating with Shanghai and Chinese overall? How do you see that happening?
Well, when you say language is a big problem, but to my experience, it's really not that bad. Because my colleagues, I mean, especially the senior management and the head of department, this kind of level, I mean, they speak excellent English. I mean, the communication is not a problem. But
my question would be how to integrate Chinese.
I don't know what you're saying, but to make my life easier, and I think PSX has already introduced the Chinese, I mean, the Mandarin program, and we are introducing outsider teachers to teach our staffs, and to push them study harder, and we set up a very good price. I mean, who scored the highest, I mean, can bring his wife and to travel to China for 1
incentive
week.
package.
Yes.
And I can assure you from our point of view, from the Forum of Business Plus TV and Media Time, we really intend to be part of, you know, this, I'll say, revolution going on, you know, economic revolution, cultural revolution. We intend to start a proper Chinese-based, you know, like programs, and where, you know, we can invite people like you or people you recommend, because the more we integrate, the more we know about each other, and it will be through interaction.
Exactly.
And I think from the forum of PSX, you know, we can have some like interactive programs where, you know, we can talk about your culture, you can learn about our culture.
Sure.
That will be so, Pakistan is placed very strategically in terms of its location, as you talk about, you know, the land route and everything. However, the region has been marred a little bit, you know, ups and downs, there have been noise. So when this economic results start coming in, do you think overall the situation will benefit everyone around us, and Pakistan in particular?
Well, I think it will benefit everyone. I mean, Pakistan, of course, included.
And if in terms of not like exact numbers, how many people or your businessmen do you see coming into Pakistan from China, particularly related to your business and overall to the financial sector business?
Well, at this moment, I have, as I told you, I have already several groups from China to come here. I don't know the exact numbers. I couldn't remember clearly, but I'm pretty sure there are lots of Chinese are quite interested, and some of them probably doing their homework in China, and some of them, I mean, has already finished that part, but they want to get their foot on the real land of Pakistan and have more daily practice about what's going on here.
Okay. Do you see more people joining the workforce in terms of in different organizations? Because business they can start, but in terms of job opportunities, would Chinese be looking at and, you know, joining PSX, the other organizations, the banks here?
At this moment, I know quite a few, local, financial institutions are hiring, Chinese-speaking guys, and I also know there are lots of, Pakistanis, studying in Beijing, and they are willing to come back, to Pakistan and to work for the financial institutions.
Right. We have seen that power sector went through a lot of trouble before you guys were here, and you know. A lot of Chinese companies did come in power and infrastructure. But as we see, the power demand is being now matched with the supply. But don't you think with CPEC coming in full power, infrastructure going on, the trade going on, do you think this will be multiplying? So you see more opportunities for Chinese in few years, or you see real growth, sort of a mushroom growth very soon?
I think things will happen gradually, and to a certain extent, to a certain stage, will expand exponentially. But at this moment, we are
slow. But you see an exponential growth coming
exactly.
later.
But that's the economical cycle. I mean, to everywhere. I mean, in China, and here, in my view, the Pakistan's economy is developing steadily. I mean, in the past few years, and it's just like China, I mean, in the early 1980s, and it takes some while. I mean, for the infrastructure and to these kind of
long-term projects,
to get ready, and so that you have the power to pump up. I mean, the other sectors such as service, financial service, etc.
If I'd like to summarize what you just said, China has gone through a very success story, and the world has acknowledged it. Do you think some sort of a mini success story to be replicated in Pakistan through China's cooperation?
I didn't see why not.
That should be very positive. And with as you talked about the population base, obviously China is a much bigger country, and as you talked about numbers, but 200 million is still a very big population.
Exactly.
So do you see that because of your experience and the issues we talk about, because there are always issues, as you said, China might be what early, Pakistan is not looking what China looked in early 80s. So, and over time you have come up with problems, and the issues do come, and sometimes the economic explosion causes some problems also. So do you think with your expertise you'll be able to guide them very well in terms of both local businessman, business community, industry?
Well, I wouldn't say I will guide the entire of them. I would say, I mean, I hope I can. I hope, I mean, the Chinese experience can help the Pakistan, I mean, government and the businessmen, I mean, to move to the right direction.
And we've seen government to government, private sector, So do you think there will be more interaction with chamber to chamber, like particular sector wise also?
I heard, I mean, some more than 100, I mean, Chinese textile companies, I mean, come to Karachi to have some exhibition, I think just a few months ago. I mean, because I mean here the textile industry, I mean you guys have the, I think the fourth largest, I mean cotton production in the world, and China probably have the techniques. So, and to put this together, I mean we will have the synergy and to help basically the entire textile industry.
Pakistan is rich in all natural resources, and I think as you talked about cotton, there are other produce that we do, and sometimes. And
you have the best mango I've ever tasted.
it's a pride, And apart from as you're talking about vegetable, so a lot of things go wastage also. So you see all the opportunities being utilized as we said, over time by the Chinese also.
I believe so. I believe so.
And you have come, and you think other people are coming. Do you think they're comfortable in bringing their families also later, once they're settled and they're happy here?
To give you an example, one of my colleagues, I mean, work with me in PSX now, and he just bring his wife and his 3.5-year kids, I mean, to Karachi, and this morning he sent his kid to a local, I mean, kindergarten.
Oh, so
so I can foresee, I mean, more and more Chinese will come here and more committed, I mean, to work here in Pakistan.
So Yuhang, we have to take a smaller break here, and we'll be back with you for more questions.
Thank you.
Because we have to take a very small break, we'll be back soon. Welcome back, viewers. We were having a conversation with Mr. Yuhang, which will be continued. So, Mr. Yuhang, when we were talking about culture, food, do you find anything very interesting with local people? Like, do you think they're very colorful, they're very easygoing? How would you rate them?
Well, this is a very interesting question. I think local people, most of them are very friendly, but the culture difference does exist, and you see, I mean, even here, when people, when they are in a rush or sometime, I mean, during the meeting, I mean, they speaking Urdu. Then I get lost. then someone will stand up saying, "Watch, Mr. Yuhang is listening." So they switch back to English.
Because when they're having conversation, you tend to drift to your own language. So they come back to the
very, very quickly.
Okay, so if you go on a street or any bazaar, because I have friends who've been there for the second, third generations. So you don't find like you don't look like an alien to local people. Is that correct? Or you see, like as you said, that people want to take photographs. So you are welcomed here on roads also. Do you feel that?
Yeah, and what I did go to one bazaar, I mean, which sold, I mean, souvenirs. I was pretty much astonished that it seems all the, I mean, businessmen there, they can speak a little bit Chinese, I mean, to me.
That's a very good.
And it's very good.
So they were able to communicate with you?
Yeah, they are able to communicate with me in a very small words, I mean, but we can understand each other using some body languages.
Yeah.
And but my guide told me I'd better wear low profile, I mean, so that I mean, he can
get the good prices. They don't charge premium to you?
Exactly.
Because they're going to say, okay, that's good. But for any culture to come in, there are 2-3 barriers, which is one, as we talked about, language, food. As I told you, food has always been a part of our culture and our cuisine. In language, when you said people are training, do you think they will be more beneficial if you start like vocational training or small training institutes like based on Chinese, so that you know this manpower, because as we talked about, the huge manpower available, and if these people are taught Chinese language, they can go and you know add value to China and you know other countries also.
I think it will be great. I mean, if local people can learn some Chinese, I mean, to help not only the Chinese companies to communicate, but also help the local companies to expand their business to the one of the biggest market in the world.
Right.
And from my experience, I addressed it just now. I mean, I met quite a few. I mean, local Pakistanis. I mean, who can speak very good Chinese. I mean, working for Chinese company and working for Pakistan company as well. And quite a few of them. I mean, they graduated from very good universities in Beijing and Shanghai and major cities in China, and very professional guys.
As they say, change is a very essential part of life, business, everything. Few of the economists in Pakistan and former state bank governors are writing very positive about CPEC. They say it's a game changer, it will be economic revolution. Do you think when you meet people, they are realizing how big this opportunity can be for them, or they are still on a wait and see mode? What is your view on it, personal view?
Well, my personal view on CPEC is just you said. I mean, most of the experts, I mean, they have addressed this is a brilliant opportunity. I mean, for Pakistan, and if not once a while in life. I mean, and it will help. I mean, Pakistan to have maybe the next generation of infrastructure, I mean, which is crucial, I mean, for any economic development, I mean, around the world. There's a saying in China, if you want to be rich, build a road first. And that's exactly, I mean, what we are doing here in Pakistan. So
you cannot sit home and hope for being rich.
No.
Okay. So you have to be out there, right?
Yeah.
And as I said, that you know, when I also talk about business people, and you know, we encourage this again, this opportunity as a big one. But I do see that you know, a little holding them back. You know, maybe they're not sure, because there've been a lot of media reports that you know this happens in different countries. You know, I don't want to name any particular, as you said, but. From your point of view, it's a big opportunity for you guys, as you said. So you started with a big...
And also for Pakistan as well.
Yes, because again, I said mutually beneficial. So why would any country, which is economic sense for each other, you know, try to, you know, just to benefit out of it, because it has to be economic beneficial. So do you think more of communication, because anything, as you said, you have to come out to be rich. And I think when it's more of communication, when there's more dialogue, people become more comfortable. So do you intend to having like seminars or some sort of like more interactive with the business community and local people?
Yes. And as I addressed it before, I mean, I have already done, and I will keep doing, I mean, to bring more and more, I mean, Chinese investors, I mean, especially institutional ones, I mean, to get here to learn about what's going on in Pakistan and to explore the potential. And just 2 days ago, I mean, I was invited to a small, I mean, event, I mean, organized by local, I mean, institutions, and they attract not only the investors from China, but also from US, from Sweden. Now CPEC, I would say, it's not just a program between China and Pakistan. It is a global, I mean, thing.
Yeah.
And
everybody's noticing
yes,
it now.
Yes,
Yes.
just in this room, and I think 2 weeks ago, one of the British minister come to here to visit PSX,
Yes.
and he just let us know that probably a few months ago there's a meeting in London. It's being held and between the UK ambassador and the Chinese ambassador in UK, and discussing what the UK can do and
in part of it
in the in part of the CPEC.
Right.
So
and that's a very good, encouraging, because if
exactly.
all these nations are getting up and acknowledging it. Coming back to PSX, obviously there's been some background research to take this stake, and there have been highs and lows. Now you're firmly in place, and with your experience, it's a bigger market. In the long-term view, obviously things will get better. But in terms of product innovation, you must be working. I know, obviously, it's privileged information. But just for outsider view, like from average man point of view, should you expect innovative products coming in, good news coming in from you, once you're firmly placed in the management?
Well, definitely. We are coming here to make this exchange more healthy, more robust, and make the capital market function more properly here in PSX. And we are quite interested in PSX because it is a relatively developed, market. It was established in 1949, if I didn't remember wrong. And
it's gone through a lot of changes.
Yeah, I think it encountered a lot of, ups and downs. And the most important thing is here, the product line is relatively, comprehensive. Let's not thinking about the volume at this moment.
Well, that will come naturally.
Few of the products, that's true. There's no volume at all, and there's some reason behind it. And we are trying to pop up them, and by introducing, let's say, market makers, something like that, and to expand the investor base.
That will be very positive.
Yes, and we also, will introduce some standardized, product, which is regularly traded globally, and to bring them here to Pakistan. And that's it.
As you talked about Pakistan established in 1949, we have seen from open outcry, physical shares now to be totally automated, CDC driven and everything. So I think, as you said, a lot of things have been already done, and there's always a room for improvement. One thing I think you'll be able to acknowledge, although we have been lacking on infrastructure in terms of roads and everything, but in somehow internet and the IT has been quite established and developed in Pakistan.
Yeah, you are absolutely right, and we realized, this situation as well, and the IT system, is working fine at current volume, but if we are trying to introduce more products, bring more,
or double the volumes,
double the volumes, and probably we need to some restructure of the IT system and to make it more efficient, and as you probably know, the programming trading, high-frequency trading is a tendency, all around the world. And but here, I didn't see too much activity like that. And to introduce those activities and to pump up the liquidity, we probably need to have a more robust IT system. And I think we Chinese are working with our Pakistan colleagues closely, and trying to introduce some Chinese IT system here. And on the other side, we realized the market surveillance system here is not that electronical, and we are thinking probably, in the near future, we might introduce some advanced, surveillance system, here in Pakistan, and so that we can make the market more efficient and transparent as well, which is crucial, at this stage.
Taking cue from what you just said about the technology and the systems, we have seen in the developed world artificial intelligence and all these things taking over, and there has been a talk that all the regular jobs will go out of China has a big population, Pakistan has 200, China is above 1 billion. Do you see the it is a threat, or do you, in your personal view, there will be more opportunities coming in? Because developers are talking about the regular jobs going out of fashion or out of requirements.
Well, I think artificial intelligence is helping the exchange as well.
Yes.
I mean,
but automation does cause a little bit of, layoffs.
yeah.
So that has been, with a country like you and our, where we have a big human resource base. Do you think it's a challenge, obviously, but as I see it more opportunities coming in a different way. Maybe not the regular or the other sectors, but because of them, more sectors opening up.
Yes, exactly, and the market will be more efficient, and people will probably get benefit, from it, and so that they can explore the other opportunities in the other side.
And the other thing, which is again not relevant, but I see that the big groups in Pakistan are coming up with big malls and big infrastructure. While if you see US or the northern markets or the European markets, everything is now shifting to e-commerce. So again, from a China point of view, there will be like two cultures where you can benefit. You can still go to the infrastructure or the e-commerce. Where do you see the biggest opportunity? Will it be e-commerce future?
E-commerce. Are we talking about the e-commerce here in Pakistan? Yeah, I believe so. I mean, since I'm a Chinese, I'm using WeChat. I'm not sure. Most of them. Lots of my colleagues are using WeChat now, and they love it. WeChat is a more advanced version of WhatsApp. The thing is, because on WeChat, you can use it to pay, and you don't have to use your credit card anymore. In China nowadays, if you have a smartphone, if you have WeChat, you can pay everywhere by WeChat.
So you don't have to carry physical money or even credit card.
Exactly, and this kind of digitalization, I will call it, and
the currency is digitalized.
Will change our lives, and also will change the exchange life as well.
Yes,
and
that would have been my other question, because it's how easy to make the payment and receive payments
exactly
to the digital.
And I would like to address. Nowadays we are thinking about probably we need to get more prepared for this digitalization in PSX.
Right.
Because nowadays, if you want to open an account, probably you need to go to the broker and fill a lot of forms. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And there's a lot of paperwork.
Yes, but if we can go with digitalization, here's your phone. It will be easy. For you to make the application and to do the trade and to collect the money easily.
Exactly.
So this is the future, and we need to get ready for that.
So if I take that, technology will be benefiting you in way to increase both the base of the market volume as well as the investor base.
Exactly, exactly.
And with new technologies coming in now, there's a lot of talk about the blockchain, and it's a superior technology. They call it the Internet of 90s. So with your experience with IT and I think your interest.
Well, I am not an IT guy, I have to address.
But again, as you travel the world, you hear about all these things happening. And so how do you think it will be easy to adopt new technologies, both in China and in Pakistan, particularly to the exchange-related business?
I think I have to admit that Pakistan has very talented guys.
Internationally they are accepted.
In technology.
Yes.
And I heard that Huawei has a lot of local engineers. Working for them. And I believe, with the talent of Pakistanis, we can easily, to adopt the new advanced technology, into the market.
Okay. So as you're talking about new product development, and we have seen again, the 200 million population base keep coming up, the industry size, and most of the people have, because of the family business culture or whatever, they've been unwilling to list them in stock exchange. So with with Shanghai coming in, Chinese management, do you think you'll make an extra effort to make sure there are more IPOs in pipeline, there are more companies to be listed in stock exchange, so that the depth also increases?
Yeah, we are working hard on that, and we realized the culture here. Because there was so many family business, and they don't want outsiders to get involved too much. And
in the decision making?
Yeah, in the decision making, which is required, I mean,
fresh blood, new ideas.
By the regulation. And also this is one part. The other part is the tax issue. And in a lot of countries, I mean, if you're a listed company and you got tax beneficiary, but here, I'm not quite sure about that. And but
there has been a question on that.
With all the downside, I mean, but we are working hard, I mean, to introduce and persuade more companies, I mean, to get listed in PSX.
Right.
And the other chance is, since CPEC is expanding very well, and we are also trying to introduce CPEC-related companies either to get listed here, or maybe issue bonds, I mean, to finance their project.
Right.
And
the debt market has been missing from PSX.
Yes.
So you intend to introduce
the debt market here, and they do have debt market, but the
not through
trading,
PSX.
The trading volume is not that high.
Yes.
So, and we need to work hard on that.
Yeah.
And the other thing is the Sukuk market here is also very unique, I mean, to me.
Yeah.
But Sukuk product, once it is designed very well, I mean, it is very welcomed, I mean, from my contact with local financial institutions like banks and asset management firms. So we may want to introduce some CPEC related projects and to maybe package it into a Sukuk product, I mean, so that, I mean, help the companies, I mean, to finance their projects.
Regarding IPO again, there's a private sector huge market available. So do you intend to reach them like through a forum, or do you like want to invite them and see what's the benefit of this?
I have to admit, we haven't focusing too much on our marketing. I mean, because I mean, in the last
that will be future part.
In the last year, because we are more focused on demutualization, this kind of things for PSX. And since everything is settled, and now we need to shift our gear, I mean, to a new level, and to focusing marketing and to approaching more to the potential listed companies through, I mean, seminars, road shows, I mean, maybe even door to door, I mean, to the companies.
So you have to have an entire marketing proper plan, and that
we
will
do
be,
have it.
and that obviously will have effect, and then we might see the market capitalization you know, going up. Government has been a very big part of the market capitalization. Do you see more of the government issues coming in the pipeline later part of the year or next few years?
You mean government issues?
The government listed companies giving more shares to the
well, this part I haven't touched it yet, but I need to do more analysis to answer this.
Because as you see, the oil and gas sector is like heavy index, and most of the companies are. So I think that will be a huge opportunity again for Chinese investors and for the PSX to have more listings, more sort of float coming in. Even the listed companies who have a very less float and increasing their float in the market, that will be one of the biggest opportunities. When we see technology, now the borders are not there. So, and then as I said, for everything there's an opportunity as a threat. So when again then the hacking and all these issues, as you said that you are always looking to improve the system. What kind of potential threat you see for any exchanges in the world from the hackers, and how to protect, because it's a huge confidence people are putting into you, their money and everything, and how important to you as a DMD it becomes like one of the most important issues in your agenda?
Well, information, I mean, how to say, security is very important, and we are working hard on that. And as you know, PSX, and we have the Chief Information Security Officer, and this is the kind of, I mean, position which is not that normal, I mean, especially for Chinese, and but we know why this is so important here, and we also know, I mean, our colleagues are working hard on that, and we will, while bring the Chinese technology here, and we will try to make the PSX system more robust, and to, how to say, to make all the loopholes, I mean, to fix it.
Okay. And obviously, with having said that, it will be like of international standard, where acceptable standard and
and we were probably starting from those ISO 2000 something. I don't know.
The latest one. Yeah, they keep on increasing.
Yeah, but try to following that practice. I mean, is the right direction, we think.
Okay, and again, we keep repeating that, but in Pakistan, China relationship has gone. It's a long way that had a long history also. So with this happening, do you see a major chunk people coming in, or over time, like as we said, it might be slow first and then exponential growth, or do you see now when you talk to Chinese people, they are willing to come?
I think more and more Chinese companies are coming. As I said, I mean, you see the textile industry is coming,
yes.
And I think the cement, the power guys are already here.
Right.
Now the financial guys here.
Right.
And I hope later on, since Pakistan has the most beautiful mountain view, I mean, in the north, although I've never been there, and I think more and more, I mean, tourists, this kind of people will come here as well.
Yeah.
So I believe, I mean, more and more Chinese, and not only Chinese, and also some other countries, I mean, people will come to Pakistan.
And it might become a tourism hub also.
Exactly. And I've never known, I mean, this before until I come to Karachi.
I think, again, not to highlight the bad thing, but the law and order situation is the first for any tourist attraction. And as you talk about the peaks and everything, it was very popular destination for the Europeans. But over time, because of this, and now the latest figures have shown there is a tremendous improvement in the local tourism, the tourism from the foreigners. And I think that could be a very big beneficial both for the trade as well as economy in particular. So going forward, like if we see index at whatever level it is, and it shows. Any exchange is a barometer for that country's economy. Do you see with the third world countries that sometimes there is a gap between that, or does it truly reflect the condition of the economy? Because when we say barometer, it should be saying what is happening.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, but here I think that the KSE, I mean, is an indicator of the economy, but to some extent.
Lagging.
Lagging.
Yeah. And usually the results, the markets are known to be forward-looking, right? And I think recently there have been other reasons than the fundamentals.
Exactly. I think the fundamentals are relatively healthy.
Right.
But I mean, the reason we all know, I mean, probably is the main driver for it. I mean, to this state.
Yeah. I think again the part and parcel of every economy. It goes up.
But things will go on.
Yeah,
I believe. I mean, when this short-term issue gets solved.
Exactly.
I mean,
but people have short memories also. They will go away, and then they might move on. But when we see you and CPEC, obviously it's not a short-term project. If you see average investor, I think the biggest training they need to need is a medium to long term. When we're looking for a very short-term return, I think the markets do not perform that way. But
it also create a lot of volatility as well.
Yes, China has seen that. So, like, would you like to keep in that mind? A couple of years back there was a huge volatility. So, in terms of the system's robust and obviously the investor education.
Yes, and investor education and awareness is very important, and especially. For Pakistan and for China as well.
Right.
And we in China, for any people to trade derivatives, we have the eligibility test, and you have to have certain amount of money and certain experience in trading derivatives, or maybe trading futures. So that you can start trading options, things like that.
I think
we need to introduce that. To Pakistan.
Exactly. I think when we that's another great thing you highlighted, because when we look at the volume, it's just the pure ready market volume. So, and if you compare it to other world countries, there's a huge futures and derivative market going on. So it's not a right comparison between apples to apples. Once these products, as you said, are introduced and start showing volume, then I think our volume will be a clear reflection or can be compared to international, because without these products, I think our ready market cannot be compared to the...
Yeah, a very healthy and robust ready market need
future markets
futures market
and derivatives
or derivative market to hedge the risk.
Exactly.
And we must have this kind of risk management system function very well, so that the ready market can get boomed, and so that more company can get to the ready market to finance.
And then you benefit out of it. The other thing is this, that as you in the interview you mentioned that China is a huge market, and I think what you from your PSX forum and Chinese maybe government forum or investor, and we as a media and other people, businessmen, we have to make sure that we have to tell people that it's a huge market opportunity also for them to, if a product gets success in a $1 billion plus market, they can make much more money than from a local market. So I think that will take some investor education and a little bit of training.
Yeah, exactly, and we need to let more investors know, what happened, in Pakistan, in China, and probably when time comes and when we might, try to think about to bring this Pak-China link, and so that more investors in China will know Pakistan, and Pakistan investor can trade products listed in China. But it takes time. Let's get there step by step.
So, relatively you're new to the market. Obviously, your positive bias is there. But do you think Pakistan can be the next success story of the region?
I didn't see why not.
So you want to be part of it?
Yeah, absolutely.
And coming again back to the fact that a very friendly relationship and huge population base. So we should be seeing a very healthy, long-term, economically beneficial, mutually beneficial relationship with you.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And anything you would like to add, both personally in terms of your experience here, PSX, Pakistan in general? You have talked about Bazaar and everything, but anything you'd like, because people must have been pleasantly surprised the way you greeted, and you intend to learn a little bit of more our local language.
Well,
some word.
It will be a little bit difficult for me. Besides Assalamu alaikum. Oh, shukriya, I know. I know that word.
Good.
And besides all the products I mentioned in PSX, I just forgot one thing, which is the data. And data business is also very important for any exchange in the world now. And we are working on that, but we need to push forward, to work hard on that. Because from London Stock Exchange's experience, 30% of their revenue are driven by data-related business. And here we have only the vanilla one, but we need to move forward to have more advanced one, so that more and more people know what's going on here. And I've already tried to introduce up the Pakistan data to the Chinese investor through the channel of Shanghai Stock Exchange and Shenzhen Stock Exchange. And hopefully in the future more and more people get to know Pakistan well, so that they decide to put their money and to invest it here.
And it's safe and secure.
Safe and secure. And this takes time for sure, but we will be there.
Mr. Yohang, thank you very much for your time, for a comprehensive interview. And as I mentioned, this is the first ever of your media appearance, and we really thank you for your time.
It's my honor. Thank you very much.
Have you seen, I've been repeating that in the program also, it was first ever media appearance of Mr. Yohang as a Deputy Managing Director, Pakistan Stock Exchange, and we on the forum of Business Plus TV are honored to have him as our guest, and we hope it becomes a regular feature where he comes and shares what he has been doing at Stock Exchange in general and for the economy in particular. Thank you for watching us.